And here's the difference between the two boards, or the two pieces here even. My 3.5-inch line is right there on this board, or the line that I copied off of the original is out here. And on this one, I am right on it. Here, I stayed inside the line with my cut. Here, I just went probably a full 1/8 over that way. So I've got to take this pencil line and move it up a little bit and create that arc. I'm just going to use my French curve. So I'll just take this curve, match it to that outside of the curve, the saw cut, and kind of keep an eye on where you are so that you get matching curves. I'm just off of the L or the E, I guess, in Stadler or Stadler, right there. Kind of like that right there. There we go. So I'll bandsaw out here, stay away from that line, and then sand to it. This one here, I'm gonna probably just leave that alone. I could probably use that line right there. Pretty much the same. This door's gonna have to be fitted anyway. Alright, success. I nibbled this off a little bit, and you can see that I left the line here. I'm just gonna use the radius of my belt sander out here to do this inside curve. So here we go. I'm going to switch to 120 here. Just clean it up a little bit. There you go. This is the front side. It's going to be beautiful. Alright, something like that. So I'm going to pull that back and get a center line mark here. I'm going to use the tight setting on both these pieces, and if I do this carefully enough, that should be a perfect alignment. Beautiful. All right, some glue and clamps. I'll put that aside and start working on some of the other pieces. Okay, I put kind of a light coat on and let it soak in, and now I'm putting another coat on. I did this to both sides. Just kind of let it penetrate that end grain there. And now she should go together. I'm using Titebond 3 here, by the way. Okay. Well, right after I shut the camera off, I discovered that I was open up here from pulling on from the bottom direction. So I just took it apart. I still it wasn't set up yet. Wiggled it apart, put more glue on it, got some good squeeze out, and I'm just going to rely on the fact that it's pulled tight together with hand pressure, and then I clamped it down to keep it flat, and hopefully that'll do the trick with this Titebond 3. We'll see if she stays together. It shouldn't be a problem. I've got a nice tight joint here, so we'll see what happens. We'll give this a few hours, because that is going to take quite a while to cure inside there. Okay, these are the old parts laying on my saw table here, and just taking this measurement here, and it's 8.5 inches between these two styles. So I've got my new parts cut, and they're ready to go. So I'm going to lay out the mid rail and the bottom kick plate here, which incidentally I've made about a 1/2 inch bigger than the one that's here. So I'll do that. Right, after some layout work here, I've got my 8.5 inch space here. This space just takes care of itself, but this has to be centered. Made marks for dominoes here, 2 of them, and then I am not going to run a saw kerf, because I'm going to have to use a router to make these relief cuts wherever it went here, and then just square them up with a chisel. Well, if the dry fit goes as well as the glue up, I am going to be very, very, very pleased. That is right on the nose, square. Beautiful. Okay, so it's just a matter of putting some glue in that joint and letting it sit flat on this workbench top. That'll keep it nice and flat, and a little bit of clamp pressure and we should be good to go. So we'll see what's happening tomorrow.